MLB Power Pros!
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the PowerUp video tutorial series. This time, we're going to talk about editing rosters. So first, if you open up a roster, what you're going to see is something that looks a little bit like this. We're going to have all of the divisions laid out here, and then a list of all of the teams and players in that division. So if I scroll through this, you'll see all of the teams in the AL East, and we can page through these and we'll see each of the other divisions, AL and NL. I also have a section for All-Stars, with the National League All-Stars first, and the American League All-Stars second. And I have a section for free agents, which is just going to be a list of free agent hitters and pitchers. If you want to look at player data, one of the things you can do is click on this eye icon, and it'll show you all of the player's attributes. Some of them you can see already there in the grid, but this eye is available anytime that you see a player's colored tile somewhere in the application. So you can see his overall, which is calculated just using some comparisons and some calculations I do behind the scenes. And then all of the game statistics such as contact, power, run speed, arm strength, etc. On the second page of this, you can see their position capabilities. It looks just like the informational thing you'll see in the game if you hit the Z button on Wii or R1, I think on PS2. And finally, the last page is pitching. So for pitchers, it's just in the reverse order. So for a pitcher, the first page is going to show you their stuff, their pitch arsenal, how hard they throw, their control and stamina, and then it's going to show you position capabilities and their other attributes. You see along the left side here that we have the eye icon for a lot of these and the edit player icon for others. Depending on what type of player you have, you may or may not be able to edit them. So for the ones that you can edit, you'll have this editing icon, and for the ones that you can only view, you'll have the eye icon. The next button you see here is the replace player button. This button will let you put another player in place of that player on this team and roster. One of the key things to understand when editing in PowerUp is that you're not editing a game save file directly. You're not editing a list of set players the same way that you are through the PowerPros game. In this, you're actually building your own database of players, and you can refer to those players later and use them on other teams. This also means that you could have the same player on multiple teams. So if you see here, we'll have Manny Ramirez, and you can see he's on this team, but he's also here on the Red Sox. And if I were to make an edit to Manny Ramirez, let's say I go in and I change his contact to be 14 and save. If I come back here, the edit takes place not only on this roster where I edited him, you see his contact is 14, but it will also happen on this roster where he is also listed. This also means that you can have more than one version of the same player. So in order to differentiate which player is which, I include this player ID next to every player's name. It'll be P and then some unique number that is unique to that player in your database across the whole system. So you can see here, P971 is this custom player that I have also referred to on here. And P122 version of Manny Ramirez is a totally different version of Manny Ramirez, and that version did not get the contact update when I made it. One thing that I was worried about when I was writing the app is that it would be too easy to overwrite players' data and lose access to it. So in order to make sure that doesn't happen, I created 4 types of players. We have base players, which are players that were included in the original version of the game. For now, it's just the 07 version of PowerPros. We have custom players, which are generated through the app. These are any player that you make when you copy players or if you create a new player. Those will all be custom. There's imported players. These are players that are imported whenever you make a new imported game save file, whenever you import a roster from one. And then finally, there's generated players, which are created using the player generator. Base players and imported players are not editable. So you'll see here we have the view icon instead of the edit icon. Custom players and generated players are editable. So you can see that we can edit them, and the edit icon is here on the bottom. One good rule of thumb, if you're working in the app and want to edit a player but aren't able to, is that if you can't edit them, make a copy of them. So let's say I want to edit Miguel Tejada. If I go to his player page, you'll see that I can't edit anything. It's all disabled. So the way that I will be able to edit him is by making a copy. So I'll say replace with copy. And now I have a custom version of Miguel Tejada with a new player ID. And I can go in and I can edit his properties.